Peace, mercy, and blessings of God. Welcome to the Reports channel. First of all, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive everything new, God willing. And do not forget to support us by liking the video. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. When we talk about the most important figures in Islamic history, many names come to mind. However, when we discuss Islamic figures who played a crucial role in the military aspect, there's no doubt that the forerunner is Khalid ibn al-Walid, the Sword of Allah, a companion of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and one of the greatest military leaders in Islamic history. Let's get to know his biography and take a look at his story in this report. Who is Khalid ibn al-Walid? Khalid ibn al-Walid ibn al-Mughira ibn al-Abdullah ibn Amr ibn Makhzum ibn Yaqza ibn Murrah ibn Ka'b ibn Lu'ay bin Ghalib bin Fahr bin Malik bin Quraysh bin Kinana bin Mudarrika bin Ilyas bin Mudar bin Nizar bin Mad bin Adnan al-Qurashi al-Makhzumi. Khalid's lineage and titles. He meets the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in lineage at his sixth grandfather, Murrah ibn Ka'b, and is nicknamed Abu Sulaiman, and some say Abu al-Walid. One of the few leaders in history who were never defeated in a battle throughout their lives. Khalid fought over 100 battles against numerically superior forces of the Romans, Persians, and their allies. His most famous decisive victories were in the battles of Yamama and Yarmouk. Khalid's role before Islam. Khalid ibn al-Walid played a key role in the Quraysh's victory in the Battle of Uhud before his conversion to Islam. He also participated in the Battle of the Trench alongside the Confederate forces. Then he embraced Islam after the Treaty of Hudaybiyah and the performance of Umrah. Khalid's military campaigns. He participated in the Battle of Mu'tah and the conquest of Mecca. At the peak of his military successes, Caliph Umar ibn al-Khattab relieved him of his command of the armies because he feared people would be dazzled by him. Then Khalid moved to Homs, where he lived for less than 4 years until his death and burial there. Birth and family. Khalid ibn al-Walid's exact birth year is unknown, but many historians believe he was born 25 or 26 years before the Prophet's migration. His father was al-Walid ibn al-Mughira, a prominent leader of the Banu Makhzum clan known for his generosity and noble character. Khalid's mother was Lubaba the Younger, daughter of al-Harith al-Hilaliya from the Hawazin tribe. Khalid's brothers and sisters. Khalid had 6 or 9 brothers and sisters, including the companions al-Walid ibn al-Walid and Hisham ibn al-Walid. Another notable brother was Ammar ibn al-Walid, whom the Quraysh offered to Abu Talib in exchange for Muhammad, peace be upon him, but Abu Talib refused. Khalid's tribe. Khalid belonged to the Banu Makhzum tribe, one of the 3 leading tribes of Quraysh. The tribe was known for its military prowess, and many of its members were skilled traders and fierce warriors. Notable figures from this tribe include the poet Umar ibn Adi Rabi'a and the Tabi'i Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib. Physical characteristics. Khalid ibn al-Walid was known for his robust physical attributes. He was over 2 meters tall, broad-shouldered, with a wide chest, muscular build, and a fair complexion. He had a thick beard that filled his face and bore a strong resemblance to Umar ibn al-Khattab. Children. The exact number of Khalid's children is unknown, but the names of 3 sons have been recorded: Sulaiman, Muhajir, and Abdurrahman. Before Islam. Khalid ibn al-Walid was raised according to the customs of the Arabs and the Quraysh tribe. After his birth, he was sent to live with a wet nurse in the desert, where he developed his linguistic skills, strength, and health. He returned to his parents in Mecca at the age of 5 or 6 and learned horsemanship, showing remarkable skill and bravery from a young age. Khalid lived a peaceful life after his father's death, inheriting a vast fortune. His first confrontation with Muslims before his conversion to Islam was in the Battle of Uhud, and he did not participate in the Battle of Badr, where his brother Al-Walid was captured. Khalid ibn al-Walid in the Battle of Uhud before his conversion to Islam. The Battle of Uhud took place in the 3rd year of the Hijrah between the Muslims and the polytheists of Quraysh. It was named after the mountain near Medina and was the second battle fought by the Muslims after the Battle of Badr. The battle was sparked by the Quraysh's attempt to avenge their defeat in Badr. The Muslim army consisted of 700 fighters, while the Quraysh army had 3,000 fighters. The Muslims were led by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, while the Quraysh were led by Abu Sufyan ibn Harb. Khalid ibn al-Walid noticed the chaos that erupted among the Muslim ranks when they began collecting spoils after their initial victory. He observed the archers leaving their positions on the mountain, and he took advantage of the situation by attacking the Muslims from behind. This turned the tide of the battle in favor of the Quraysh. The Islam of Khalid ibn al-Walid. After the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, finished performing Umrah, he called upon Walid ibn al-Walid and asked him about his brother Khalid. The Prophet said, "How can Khalid not know about Islam? If he were to use his cunning with the Muslims against the polytheists, it would be better for him, and we would prefer him over others." Walid sent a message to his brother Khalid saying, "I have never seen anything more astonishing than your ignorance of Islam. No one ignores Islam like you do. Make up for what you have missed, for you have missed many good opportunities." The message reached Khalid after the Prophet and his companions had returned to Medina. Khalid was pleased to receive the message from his brother and read the letter. He was amazed by its content and began to think about it. He was impressed by the Prophet's words, and his heart was settled on Islam. On his way, he met Amr ibn al-As. When did Khalid ibn al-Walid convert to Islam? Khalid ibn al-Walid, one of the most famous military leaders in Islamic history, converted to Islam in the 8th year of the Hijrah, after the conquest of Mecca, around 630 AD. Before his conversion, Khalid was one of the most prominent leaders of Quraysh in the wars against the Muslims, including the Battle of Uhud. After his conversion, he became one of the most important military leaders under the banner of Islam and played a pivotal role in many major battles. Battles of Khalid ibn al-Walid. The number of battles fought by Khalid ibn al-Walid is estimated to be between 42 and 99, according to different historians. Battles of Khalid ibn al-Walid during the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him. The first battle fought by Khalid ibn al-Walid after his conversion to Islam was the Battle of Mu'tah, which took place 4 months after his conversion. The battle was fought against the Ghassanid Arabs and their Roman allies. Khalid performed well in the battle and began to demonstrate his military genius. His military prowess was confirmed, and he became one of the 4 leaders in the conquest of Mecca. Khalid ibn al-Walid in the Battle of Mu'tah. The reason for this battle was to avenge the killing of the Muslim envoy, Al-Harith ibn Umar al-Azdi, by the governor of Busra, Shurabil ibn Amr al-Ghassani. The Muslim army consisted of 3,000 fighters, while the enemy army had 200,000 fighters, including 100 Roman soldiers. Khalid initially participated as a soldier, but after the martyrdom of the 3 leaders appointed by the Prophet, namely Zayd ibn Haritha, Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, and Abdullah ibn Rawaha, Khalid was given the flag of leadership. He successfully led the Muslim army in a strategic withdrawal, saving them from complete annihilation. 9 swords were broken in his hand during the battle. The Prophet praised him and nicknamed him the Sword of Allah. Khalid ibn al-Walid in the conquest of Mecca. The Quraysh broke one of the conditions of the treaty when Banu Bakr, allies of Quraysh, attacked Banu Khuza'ah, allies of the Prophet, peace be upon him. The Prophet then led an army of 10,000 fighters towards Mecca and divided the army into 4 sections. He led one section himself and appointed Zubair ibn al-Awam, Sa'd ibn Ubadah, and Khalid ibn al-Walid to lead the other 3 sections. He ordered them to enter Mecca through different gates, and they did so, each entering through their designated gate. None of them encountered any fighting except for Khalid's battalion, which was met with resistance by Ikramah ibn Abi Jahal, Suhail ibn Amr, and Safwan ibn Umayyah, who had gathered a group of men to fight the Muslims. However, Khalid was able to defeat them and killed a number of them.
Khalid ibn al-Walid's destruction of the idol Al-Uzza. The Prophet sent Khalid ibn al-Walid with a detachment of 30 horsemen to destroy the idol Al-Uzza, which was worshipped by the tribe of Kinana. Khalid destroyed the idol, but when he returned to the Prophet, he was asked if he had seen anything unusual. Khalid replied that he had not. The Prophet then told Khalid that he had not truly destroyed the idol and that he should return and complete the task. Khalid returned, and as he approached the idol, a naked black woman with disheveled hair came out. Khalid drew his sword and struck her, cutting her in two. He then returned to the Prophet and informed him of what had happened. The Prophet said, "Yes, that was Al-Uzza. She will never be worshipped again in your land." Khalid ibn al-Walid's expedition to Banu Jadima. The Prophet sent Khalid ibn al-Walid with a detachment of 350 Muhajirin, Ansar, and Banu Sulaim to invite the tribe of Banu Jadima to Islam. However, Khalid mistakenly attacked them despite the Prophet's instructions not to fight them. Some of the companions, including Salim Mawla Abi Khudhayfa and Abdullah ibn Umar, objected to Khalid's actions. When the Prophet heard about the incident, he raised his hands to heaven and said, "O Allah, I disown what Khalid has done." The Prophet then sent Ali ibn Abi Talib to Banu Jadima to pay the blood money for the people who were killed. Khalid ibn al-Walid at the Battle of Hunayn. The Battle of Hunayn took place in the 8th year of the Hijrah, and it was fought between the Muslims and the tribe of Thaqif. The Muslim army consisted of 12,000 fighters, while the Thaqif army had 10,000 fighters. Khalid ibn al-Walid was wounded in the battle, but the Prophet spat on his wounds and they were healed. The Muslims emerged victorious in the battle. Khalid ibn al-Walid at the Battle of Tabuk and other expeditions. Khalid ibn al-Walid participated in the Battle of Tabuk under the leadership of the Prophet. From there, he was sent on an expedition to Dumat al-Jandal, where he captured the ruler of the area, Uqaydir ibn Abdul Malik, who agreed to pay the jizya tax. Khalid also destroyed the idol Wad, which was worshipped by the people of the area. In the 10th year of the Hijrah, the Prophet sent Khalid with a detachment of 400 fighters to the tribe of Banu al-Harith ibn Ka'b in Najran, inviting them to Islam. The tribe accepted Islam, and Khalid stayed with them, teaching them the principles of Islam. Khalid ibn al-Walid's battles in the Ridda Wars. After the death of the Prophet, Khalid ibn al-Walid played a key role in the Ridda Wars, fighting against the tribes that had apostatized from Islam. One of the notable battles he fought was against the tribe of Banu Asad, led by Tulayha ibn Khuwaylid, who had claimed prophethood. Khalid defeated the tribe and forced Tulayha to flee to Syria. Khalid ibn al-Walid and Malik ibn Nuwayra. Khalid ibn al-Walid was also involved in the incident of Malik ibn Nuwayra, a chief of the tribe of Banu Tamim. Abu Bakr had instructed Khalid to invite the tribe to Islam and to accept the jizya tax from them if they accepted Islam. However, Khalid mistakenly attacked the tribe, killing Malik ibn Nuwayra and taking his wife Tamim as a captive. Khalid later married Tamim. The incident was widely criticized by the companions, including Umar ibn Khattab, who demanded that Abu Bakr punish Khalid. However, Abu Bakr refused to punish Khalid, saying that he would not sheath the sword that Allah had drawn against the disbelievers. Abu Bakr reprimanded Khalid for his actions and then sent him back to his army.
Khalid ibn al-Walid and Musaylama the liar in the Battle of Yamama. Khalid ibn al-Walid faced Musaylama the liar in the Battle of Yamama in the 11th year of the Hijrah. The battle took place in the plain of Aqraba, east of the Arabian Peninsula. The Muslim army consisted of 13,000 fighters, while Musaylama's army had 40,000 fighters. The two armies clashed and the Muslims initially retreated. However, the Muhajirin and Ansar showed great bravery, which turned the tide of the battle in their favor. The Banu Hanifa retreated to a fortified garden known as the Garden of Death. The Muslims followed them and besieged the garden. Al-Bara ibn Malik asked his companions to carry him over the wall, and he managed to open the gate. The Muslims then poured inside and killed many of the Banu Hanifa. Wahshi ibn Harb killed Musaylama, and the Muslims emerged victorious. Khalid ibn al-Walid's conquest of Iraq. Khalid ibn al-Walid's first battle in Iraq was the Battle of Dhat al-Salasil, where he faced a Persian army led by Hormuzd. Khalid killed Hormuzd and the Muslims defeated the Persians. Khalid then pursued the fleeing Persians and defeated them again in the Battle of Madhar. The Persians realized the difficulty of their situation and decided to seek the help of their Arab allies from the tribe of Banu Bakr ibn Wa'il. The two armies clashed in the Battle of Walaja, where Khalid used a modified version of the pincer tactic. The Muslims emerged victorious, and the Persians and Arabs fled. Khalid ibn al-Walid's conquest of Al-Hira. After securing the victory, Khalid marched towards Al-Hira, the capital of Arab Iraq. The city surrendered, and its people agreed to pay the jizya tax. Khalid then marched to Al-Anbar and besieged it. The city's defenders had dug a trench around themselves, but Khalid found a weak spot and ordered his soldiers to slaughter weak camels and throw them into the trench. The Muslims then crossed over the carcasses and conquered the city. Khalid ibn al-Walid's conquest of the Levant. Abu Bakr sent 4 armies to the Levant, led by Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah, Yazid ibn Abi Sufyan, Shurabil ibn Hassana, and Amr ibn al-As. However, the Romans gathered large armies to face them. Abu Bakr decided to send Khalid ibn al-Walid to reinforce the Muslim armies. Khalid marched from Iraq to the Levant, taking a shorter but more difficult route through the desert. He used camels to store water and successfully crossed the desert. Khalid then defeated the Ghassanids in the Battle of Marj Rahit and conquered the city of Basra. Khalid ibn al-Walid and the conquest of Ajnadain. News arrived that a Roman army had gathered in Ajnadain. Khalid ibn al-Walid ordered his army to march towards them and informed the other commanders to meet him there. When the armies gathered, Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah was put in charge of the infantry in the center, Mu'ad ibn Jabal led the right flank, Sa'id ibn Amir led the left flank, and Sa'id ibn Zayd led the cavalry. The battle began with the Roman left flank attacking the Muslim right flank, but Mu'ad ibn Jabal and his men held their ground. The Roman right flank then attacked the Muslim left flank, but they also held their ground. The Roman commander ordered his men to throw arrows, and the Muslims launched a counterattack, defeating the Romans. The Roman ambush at Damascus. During the siege of Damascus, the Roman commander Thomas planned to break the siege by launching a surprise attack on the Muslims. He pretended to attack from all gates while secretly planning to attack the gate led by Shurabil ibn Hassana. The Romans attacked at midnight, but the Muslims were prepared and repelled the attack. The Battle of Yarmouk. The Battle of Yarmouk took place in 15 AH, where Khalid ibn al-Walid led a cavalry unit. The battle was one of the most important in Islamic history, ending the Byzantine presence in the Levant. The Muslim army numbered between 36,000 to 40,000 fighters, while the Byzantine army had around 240,000 soldiers. Khalid ibn al-Walid played a crucial role in the battle, using his mobile cavalry unit to support the Muslim army and ultimately turning the tide of the battle in their favor. Khalid ibn al-Walid's last battle. Khalid ibn al-Walid's last battle was the conquest of Marash in modern-day Turkey, which surrendered without a fight. This marked the end of Khalid's military career. Umar's dismissal of Khalid ibn al-Walid. People began to praise Khalid's victories and wealth, and poets sang his praises. Khalid rewarded them generously, which reached Umar's attention. Umar wrote to Abu Ubaidah to bring Khalid to him. Umar later explained that he dismissed Khalid not because of dissatisfaction or betrayal, but because people were fascinated with Khalid, and Umar wanted them to know that it was Allah who was the real victor. Khalid ibn al-Walid's later life. After being dismissed from his position, Khalid lived for 4 more years, dedicating himself to worship, caring for the young, and charity. He would sit with the poor and spend nights in mosques. Khalid began to detach himself from worldly life, saying, "Praise be to Allah who decreed death upon Abu Bakr, who was dearer to me than Umar, and praise be to Allah who appointed Umar as caliph and made him love him."
The death of Khalid ibn al-Walid. The plague of Amwas spread throughout the Levant, and Khalid ibn al-Walid was infected while residing in Homs. He fell ill at the age of 58, and his condition worsened. He famously said, "I will die on my bed like a camel dies. May the eyes of cowards never sleep." Khalid passed away in the year 21 AH. As he lay dying, he said, "I have sought martyrdom in battle, but it was not destined for me. I hope that my deeds, particularly my affirmation of La ilaha illallah, no God but Allah, will be the most rewarding. I wish I had died in battle, not on my bed." The grave of Khalid ibn al-Walid. It is likely that Khalid ibn al-Walid's grave is located in the city of Homs, Syria. The story of Khalid ibn al-Walid drinking poison. According to the history of Damascus, when Khalid ibn al-Walid was in Al-Hira, he was approached by Abd al-Masih ibn Amr ibn Qais al-Ghassani, who brought poison with him. Khalid took the poison, saying, "In the name of Allah and by Allah, the Lord of the earth and the Lord of the heavens," and consumed it without harm. Khalid ibn al-Walid and the Quran. Khalid's dedication to jihad in the path of Allah kept him busy and prevented him from devoting time to other acts of worship, such as memorizing the Quran. He said, "The jihad in the path of Allah has kept me from reciting the Quran much." Khalid ibn al-Walid and the river of blood. During the Battle of Walaja, Khalid made a vow to his Lord that if the Muslims were victorious, he would make the river run with the blood of their enemies. After the battle, Khalid ordered the prisoners to be beheaded, and their bodies were thrown into the river, turning it into a river of blood. This concludes our report. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like the video. Until next time, farewell and may peace be upon you.